Good morning, friends. We're gonna make our American flag today for Independence Day coming up on Saturday. This is our paper. We're gonna have it wide. It's gonna be landscape. And we're gonna make our flag 11 inches by 6.5. So it's gonna be 6.5 inches tall and 11 inches wide. I have that arrow there to kind of show you on the ruler what 6.5 would look like here. So that's how wide 6.5 is. So it's halfway between 6 and 7. And that's how tall we're going to make it. So first of all, just to make the base of it, I line up my ruler along the edge of my paper, and then I just drew a line on top. And that's going to make the bottom of our flag. So we're going to have a little bit of white below and a little bit of white above our flag. So that's how I made the base. The paper is 11 inches wide, and that's the dimensions of our flag. So we just have to now make it how tall we are. And if you remember, it's 6.5. So I'm going to line up my 0 with my bottom line here. And line this up. Go up to find my 6.5. And where's my 6.5? Right there. And I make a little dot. Then I go to this side. And I measure again. 6. Line up my 0 with the bottom line. And go all the way up to 6.5. Right in the middle of 6 and 7. 6.5. And I make a dot. And then I can use my ruler here to connect those two dots at the top. Line up the left, line up the right onto my dots, and then draw the line across. And now that's the top of our flag. Our flag has 13 stripes. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark every half an inch on our left and our right and do the lines across. But remember, we have our rectangle where the stars are in this top left. So we don't have to go all the way across when we get to this top portion, but we'll look at that in a little bit. Let's first make our half-inch marks. Okay, so here we go with our half inch. So line up our 0 with our bottom line, and then half an inch, we're going to make a mark. Every half an inch. 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, all the way to get to 6.5, which is the top. We'll do it again on the right side. Line up our zeros, and then make our marks. 1, 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, all the way up to 6. And now we can draw our bottom line. So start at the bottom. We're going to connect these two. And we're going to draw 6 lines. So we're going to draw 6. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is 6. We're going to stop there because that's where our rectangle is going to go. Let's draw our lines. Okay, so we have 6 stripes starting from the bottom, moving up. I wrote my number 6 there so I know where to stop. I lined up my dots on the right, and then my dots on the left, and drew these lines across, and made my 6 stripes here on the bottom. Now we're going to look at putting our rectangle here in the corner. We're going to make it 5.5 inches from the left towards basically the center. Now the American flag is not, the stars section is slightly smaller than half, but we're going to make it exactly half so that we can easily make our stars. So we're going to make this 5.5 inches wide. So starting at the left, we're going to go across 5.5 inches here, make my dot, and then on the bottom I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to, right where I made my 6th stripe from the bottom, I'm going to make another 5.5 inches mark, and then I can connect these two lines to make my rectangle section right here. So I'm going to connect these two lines, and then I can have my section for my stars right there. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna line this up and make my line. Okay, so now that I've made my line going this direction to make my area for the squares, I can now see when I make the remaining stripes, I don't have to go all the way across. I'm gonna still line up my dots this side and my corresponding dot on this side to make my line, but when I go across, I can stop right there. I don't need to go on this side because that's going to be where my stars are. If we make a mistake, that's okay. That's why we have our eraser. And so I just draw it like that, and see, I can go across and then stop right there, leaving room for the stars. And you can see I made a mistake over here. I made 2 lines. Now you can use your good eraser and erase it, but I'm not worried about it because I know it's going to be possibly colored. Red, white, red, white. Oh no, that's not going to be colored. It's going to be white. I can erase it after. Okay, so let's make our remaining lines up here. Okay, now look at that. We have our 13 stripes for all of our 13 colonies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I thought this was kind of cool that the stripes are 7 on the top and then 6 under here. It's kind of like this square is bigger top and bottom. It takes up 7 stripes, and then this is 6 remainder. So now we're going to look at the stars in here. There are 11 columns of stars. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our ruler again, and we're going to make 1/2 inch marks, kind of like we did on the left and the right for the stripes. We're going to do that again here, just inside of our rectangle for our stars. We're going to make 1/2 inch marks on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11 is already made for us. So we're going to make marks there every 1/2 inch, and then again at the bottom of our rectangle so that we can connect them and make straight lines. So start again here. We're lining up our 0 with our edge of a page every half. So half, 1, 1 1/2, 2, 2 1/2, 3, 3 1/2, 4, 4 1/2, and then 5, and 5 1/2 is our end. I made a column already to give you an idea of what it's going to look like. So we're going to go all the way to 5 1/2 is where we're going to do. And then we can connect the lines. Go top and bottom and draw the line and make 1 column, and we'll have 11 columns at the end. Let's start that. Okay, so I made my last column here. So now we have 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 columns for our stars that are going to go in here. And then now we're going to have to make lines across for our stars. So these marks that we had for our stripes, we have to erase those. Okay, so we erase those stripes, and we are going to measure now using centimeters. We've been using inches this whole time. Right now we're going to switch over to centimeters. So those are the smaller increments. See how much smaller? 1 centimeter to get from here to here is much smaller than getting from 11 to 12, this big inch. Okay, so we're going to use our centimeters because that lines up perfectly. We want to make 9 rows here. So if we line that up with our stars rectangle right here, we line it up on the edge, it is perfectly 9. So let's go line up our bottom here at 0, and we're going to make marks until we get to all the way to the top. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to get to the top, and then we're going to do it again on this side, on the left side. Line up our 0 with the edge of the line, and then we're going to mark every one. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 9. And you can see mine didn't really, my measurement was a little bit off up here. So my last one wasn't a full, but that's okay. It's so small. It'll be okay. And now we're going to connect the two lines that we made on the left and the right. So I made 2, so you can kind of see how our boxes are turning out right here, right? And I'm going to make my next line up on this side and this side, and make my line. And so we're having a bunch of boxes. Okay, and made our last line here. And now we have our areas for our stars. So we have actually our flag pretty much done. We just have to do a bunch of stars and colors after this. So let's start with our star. Oh yeah, let's start with our stars. So our stars are going to start in our top left corner, and it's going to be a star here. Okay, that star came out a little funky. So it's going to, and then you skip one, draw a star. Okay, skip one, draw a star. Skip one, draw a star, and you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the top. Now for the second one, you're going to skip and you're going to put the star in between. Oh, my stars are going wild. Okay, just like that. And then the third row, you're going to skip, and that's going to be our pattern. Alright, and just keep on going with that. Now I saw a trick online. The person said they just did like a TP and then a line across and then connected them. And that's how they made their stars. I made mine kind of fast and not very nice, but you do a TP, across, maybe a long A, and then connect them, and you can do that as your stars. So you can see we got our 50 stars. We know the stars are white. Everything in between here is going to be blue. Right? We're going to make this all blue in between the stars. And on our flag, it starts with red and it ends with the first stripe is red, our last stripe is red, and they just alternate, right? So it'll be red and white, and then red, white, red. I like to mark them so that I know what color I'm supposed to be doing. I don't get confused. White and then red, and there we're at the end. All right, happy coloring, and we did a beautiful flag.